Hello friends, TechManPat here, and today we're diving into one of the biggest digital shakeups Australia has ever tried. From the 10th of December 2025, every major social media platform must block all users under 16 years of age. That's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, X, Facebook, all of them. This law passed last year and now the countdown is on. And right on cue, two 15-year-olds have taken the whole thing to the High Court, arguing it steals political communication rights from 2.6 million young Aussies. So yes, the drama has begun before the ban even starts. What else were we to expect? Let's report on this dirt right after the intro. First of all, what is the ban? Well, Australia has made it legal for platforms to host under-16 accounts. The fines are enormous, around $50 million per platform. So the pressure sits entirely on tech companies. Kids and parents don't cop any fines. The ban covers the big socials, TikTok, Insta, YouTube, and so on. And messaging apps and school apps, gaming platforms, and YouTube Kids are actually mostly exempt for now. The idea? Well, protecting kids' mental health, reduce bullying, and keep predators out. Polls say 77% of Australians support it when it passed. So we're good, right? It's all done. Okay, hang on. How will it actually work? And this is where things get messy. Platforms must remove all existing under-16 accounts from December 10th. Meta has already started warning 13 to 15-year-olds they'll be locked out. And to enforce the ban, companies need to age verify basically most Australian users, not just kids. Now, the law doesn't allow IDs to be the only verification method, so expect a mix of facial age estimation AI, video selfies, account history, and so on. Now, if you've ever signed up to a crypto trading platform, you would have done basically most of those. One way or another, adults will likely end up proving they're adults just to stay online in their social media network. Now, when teens hit 16, they'll be allowed back in theory, of course. Until then, it's lights out. YouTube may allow logged out viewing only, so teens can watch but not interact, meaning they can't comment, for example. Now then, the pitfall, because let's be honest, at face value, the intention is good, and the potential future and execution, well, that's questionable. First of all, the verification is shaky. Even Meta admits there'll be errors. Some kids will slip through, some adults will be treated like they're 14 until they complete a digital obstacle course, which may not be the worst. But I digress. Secondly, privacy concerns are very real. To prove your age, you'll hand platforms not just personal data, because you've already done that, but identifiable data, which may include biometrics. While Google already has all this on you, and if you've done that photo ID login with Facebook, they kind of do already too. Wait a minute. Have we been giving out our personal information the entire time? Where we eat, where we shop, what we look like, what we like to watch, bands we listen to, pets we have, pet names that then we use for bank accounts. We've already given all this to the media companies? But what? Sure, experts warn this could create a giant new identity database, but here is the fun part. It's not for the government. It's worse, it's for big tech, and these databases don't exactly have a spotless record of privacy and safety. Things leak all the time. Then there's free speech issues. Australia doesn't have a US-style First Amendment, but we do have an implied political communication right. Critics argue this law blocks teens from participating in news, politics, and public life. Even the UN groups say a blanket ban may go too far, hence the two teens going to the High Court. However, 16 is a particularly specific age. At 16 in Australia, you can legally obtain a learner's permit, open your own bank account, apply for a tax file number, and consent to medical treatments. Other rights include having consensual sex with someone 16 or older, depending on state laws, of course, and in many cases, leaving home if you have a safe place and can support yourself. You are also eligible for certain government benefits and can get a job. So it's not a stretch to say that when you do hit sweet 16, you can interact with the government directly. So only then you would be allowed to interact with the news and politics and public life and be treated like a member of that society and get a say in it. However, let's expand what people online mean by this freedom of speech, because it's not about those who are under 16s. A lot of people online are saying this under 16 ban is really a sneaky way to control free speech, because everyone will now have to verify their age, which means everyone can be identified beyond your name, your Facebook posts, your photos, your birth date, your phone number, your email. Let's not get into that too much. And the big fear here is that the government will use it to track or silence people. But here's the thing. The law does not give the government access to your identity or your social media accounts. The age checks happen between you and the platform, not you and Canberra. Again, not sure what's worse here, but the government doesn't see your ID, even though it already has it, or your selfies, your birthday, during this verification process and result. So let's all be very honest here. Platforms already know exactly who you are. Instagrams, TikToks, the Googles, the Facebooks, they have your phone number, your email, your device ID, your IP history, your browser history, your location history, shopping habits, your face in 1,000 photos, and basically your entire digital personality. And of course, if you are not using Google, well, maybe you're not one of those people. But if you're not using Google systems, you're probably not on social media either. Now, age verification doesn't give them new powers, specifically the government. It just forces social media companies to prove they're enforcing the rules that they've been provided that they already claim to have. Instead of 13 years of age, it's now 16, but with a few extra steps. So if we look into the wording, this isn't a government database law. There are no new central government ID databases created here. The law specifically prohibits using ID alone and specifically prohibits handing ID data to the government, which is an interesting specific. However, this will increase big tech's data pile and could then increase government's pressure in the future. Potentially, right? Yes, and that's the real debate. Not that the government gets your data now, but that tech companies might end up with more of it, and they're the ones with the leakiest pockets in the room. And I'll come back to how the government's involved into that. But nothing in the law actually allows the government to remove accounts, silence those adults, or control who can post. All the law does is say platforms don't let under-16s have an account or we fine you. Lots of money. One more thing though, and as mentioned, I have seen this posted a few times. It's true, the government has always been able to request your identity from social media companies, and well, this new under-16 law doesn't change that at all. For more than a decade, police and agencies have been able to get user info from platforms, any platform, with warrants, court orders, and criminal investigations, and companies like Meta, Google, TikTok, and X already comply with thousands of these requests every year. If you're on that platform today, you can get all your information subpoenaed by the government. Nothing in the law gives the government bulk access or new surveillance powers, and they still can't just browse user databases. In saying that though, if you go online and you post things, well, you've been verified that that's you, so you can't pretend you're somebody else. The only real difference is that platforms may end up with more accurate age data, which means better adverts. But the government's ability to request information about specific users remains exactly the same as it did before. So far the media, as per usual, makes it far more than it is. Sadly, the truth, I think, is far more boring. Is it annoying? Yes. A secret speech control scheme? Unlikely, but never say never. The fact is, if the government wanted to monitor your posts, they wouldn't need the age verification to do it. Google and Meta already know more about you than your doctor, your partner, and the ATO combined. Now then, kids. I was once one, and oh boy, did I have a lot of time and technical know-how on my hands. VPNs, fake birthdays, offshore accounts, this isn't a puzzle teens can't solve. UK data shows AgeGate spiked VPN usage massively. So I think we're kidding ourselves that if we think this ban stops determined teens from accessing social media. Let's circle back to this health part because this will cause some unintended consequences, and this is my biggest gripe with it. Kick kids of established social platforms, and many will hunt for alternative spaces with far less moderation and far more risk. They could be hosted in lawless places like Russia, China, or Tasmania. Also, cutting teens off from interacting with news creators and community groups may reduce media literacy, not improve it. From where I see it, the rollout is rushed. Even today, platforms are still scrambling. Some were added to the banned list only weeks before enforcement. Even the minister admits we aren't chasing perfection. Translation, expect chaos, and chaos loves an audience. This is the world's first under-16 blanket ban, so global governments are watching. I think the real concern here is giving these large tech companies even more info through mandatory age checks. Australia restricts access based on health and maturity. I know we were seen as the nanny state, but excessive social media can affect sleep, mood, attention, and development, not just in kids, but in adults. So giving kids a couple more years away from algorithmic pressure isn't the worst idea on paper. Just look at the amount of creepy ads on Facebook. Even YouTube has terrible ads that slip through their checks. Even if you don't buy the mental health argument, the maturity argument stands pretty well on its own. Some teens can't handle online spaces. But on average, 13 to 15-year-olds just are not equipped for the social media pressures and chaos of what these platforms provide. Now, won't anyone think of the influencers? Let's not forget about them. Influencers who rely on teen audiences are worried. Some have even talked about leaving Australia. Boo-hoo! So what, you can't target 13-year-olds and 14 and 15-year-olds? 12-year-olds? Like what? Get off social media. Now, I had a quick look at this channel's analytics, and you guys are old. So am I. Something like 0.2% of the viewers of this channel are under 18 years old. So don't worry, TechManPat isn't suddenly becoming Play School with batteries included. So friends, thank you very much for watching the Dirt Report. We're about to find out if this world-first idea is genius, madness, or just another Australian tech policy that'll need 3 revisions and a Senate inquiry before it gets cancelled. Let me know your thoughts below. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.